This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? Got anything planned tonight? Just in case you're thinking, there's nothing much else to watch because Man United are beating Fulham 1-0, which, you know, you couldn't not expect, really, could you? Southampton, well, they're drawing 0-0 with Leeds, and Brighton Man City are 0-0 as well. So not exactly a good night, but I tell you what, there's a good match coming up soon. Yes, there is. 8:15 on the BT and Radio 5 Live. It is a small case of the third meeting of these top four place teams. 8:15 the kickoff is. BT Sport, Radio 5 Live, LCFC Radio if you are outside the county grounds, and the BBC Radio Leicester if you are within the county boundaries. Yeah, it's a case of, well, we've seen these people before, haven't we? Hey, we are being joined today by Jack Clemson, and he's from the Weekly Armchair Kickoff Podcast, which you can pick up on YouTube under that name. Just search that name. I've promised him we won't mention the cup final. I won't mention that at all. I did have my fingers crossed when I promised him that, though. So, shh. Yeah. Leicester Till I Die. Good evening.
Leicester Till I Die TV. Your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Oh, it so is. And we are live on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Please give that subscribe button a like. We would love you forevermore. Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group, and the old Twitter sphere at Leicester TID. Now, I forgot my mind. I'm so excited. I'm a little bit more nervous, I've got to be honest with you, tonight than I probably was on Saturday. Let's ask Brad. Good evening, Brad. How the devil are you, sir? Are you nervous tonight?
Good evening, Chris. No, actually, I'm not as nervous as I was. I was asked before the FA Cup by yourself, and that was I nervous about our running, and I was probably the least nervous coming into it. I feel strangely optimistic about it. In fact, I think it's going to be a comfortable win for the Foxes. I don't know what gives me that right to have that feeling, but that's where I stand on it. I'm quietly confident, mate.
I'm going to ask Jack just to bear with us for one moment, because we have got a little bit of a celebration going on tonight, in as much as it's 9 days to the day today when a certain Mr. Jamie Vardy signed for us from Fleetwood Town. Nigel Pearson was the manager. We just paid £1 million, the first £1 million signing from non-league football, and we were thinking, what the hell are we doing? But I tell you what, it's worth a bit of a celebration, I think. And I filmed myself earlier, just having that celebration. I've got to be totally honest with you guys. I'd kill to be that thin. I really would. But yes, that was me doing the helicopter, just in case you're wondering. But hey, we can't let Brad go because Brad sent us his celebration tape through as well. Yeah, there you go. That's Brad there having a good time celebrating Jamie Vardy. Somebody that might not be just celebrating Jamie Vardy, and he's waited very patiently. Let's bring him in. Please don't do the helicopter, sir. Good evening, Jack.
I tell you one thing I've noticed today, and what I've learned is that you can really dance in Leicester anyway. That's one thing I'll say.
Yeah, it's daddy dancing now, isn't it?
I don't know if I'd be as brave to do the helicopter like that with what I'm carrying, but look, fair play to you. It's
now you know why we only film from the waist up on these shows.
Not to embarrass your guests, I say.
Yeah, or myself, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't want to say anything, but it was very difficult to actually just get the camera at the right angle so that it wasn't included. Yeah, I wish. Jack, give us a shout out before we start. I know I mentioned it before, but give us a shout out on your YouTube and social media.
Yeah, so I'm a panelist on the Weekly Armchair Kickoff. You can find us at the Weekly Armchair on Twitter and also YouTube and Facebook. And then my own handle is down below, as you can see, at Jack Clemson. So I don't know if there's too many Leicester fans that would want to follow me after tonight, hopefully, but we'll see.
Oh, well, we'd probably love to follow you because, for some reason at the moment. And Sean's just reminding me, I do apologise, guys. I did say BT. That was me getting carried away, still thinking about Saturday. We kind of do quite well on BT, but we're on Sky Sports tonight. So thanks a lot for that, Sean. David Gamble, hi, welcome along. Peter Hines, good afternoon, Pete, or good evening, whatever. It is. Good morning, good night, good day. We'll cover every angle. And Stephen Collins, good evening, gents. Now, I did say I wasn't going to mention it, but let's get the elephant in the room out the way first of all. I was a bit confused by your manager because he was a little bit disrespectful afterwards. It was a lucky goal and everything. He wasn't very happy. Yet, he made all the players stay on the pitch to show respect while we got the medals. So I was a bit confused by him.
Yeah, it was a funny one, really, because I mean, it was just one of them goals. It was a world-class goal. You can't take anything away from the strike. I think we gave him way too much room to even get into a position. So realistically, to say it was lucky, I probably wouldn't agree with. It was a good goal. It was a worthy FA Cup final winning goal, to be fair. I think we should be really mad at ourselves more than anything because we did control the game fairly well in large spells, but just as we've been all season, we just can't put the ball in the back of the net. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Long may it continue. And if anybody was wondering what we're talking about, of course, it was our last meeting, which we've just put on screen there to remind you. Brad, it wasn't a classic for the neutral, was it? But, you know, you don't care when you're playing in it, do you?
No, and in the weirdest way, I don't think the neutrals cared. There was all of a sudden a big gust of hype about this final, like in a totally different way to other finals have been hyped. You know, it's been Arsenal, Manchester United, it's been, you know, Chelsea, Arsenal, or whatever the circumstances have been in the final. There's always been something that was up to the two teams and gone, purely because of who it is that's playing and the rivalry, everybody was on there as a neutral, whereas kind of had the Robin Hood, didn't we, moment. I think football is cliche, is a funny old game, and because Chelsea were a part of that greedy six, and Leicester weren't, and this was the first time anything of silverware was up for grabs, all of a sudden, even though the game itself, you're right, wasn't the most glamorous for an FA Cup tie, it still had its glamour moments, but it wasn't an overall glamorous 90 minutes. I think the occasion was glamorous.
I think also the fact that there was the first game really where there was a lot of fans back. in that sort of size. And Melina, Melina knows she's an Arsenal fan, so welcome along, Melina. An Arsenal fan and a mod in a Leicester room. That's the mix, isn't it? But she does like me to remind her that Leicester won the FA Cup because being an Arsenal fan, she forgets what it's like to win something. But she wants to say she wants to say hello to you, Jack. Jack, the one that worries me is I feel a bit like we've prodded the bear here because, you're going to really, and I know I said before, cup final or 3 points tonight, for top four. And I kept saying cup final. But now we've got that. I'm kind of thinking I want the 3 points as well, please. But you're going to be a little bit sort of aggravated, aren't you?
Do you know what I was thinking about today? There's kind of two ways I feel this game might go in terms of a Leicester perspective. Either one, the high of the FA Cup might be enough for you that you kind of maybe you're on a bit of a come down maybe for this match, which I'm hoping is the Leicester that turn up. Or secondly, you're going to take a lot away from the game, that you can beat us and you can outplay us for large portions of a game, and you're going to turn up and you're going to do it again. But for us, this game is, for me personally, I'm more nervous about this game because I know, look, to win an FA Cup is a great experience. But if we don't get into the Champions League this season, the implications for us for the next year or two will be massive. So, from a financial standpoint and from obviously the type of player that you can attract, is all riding on this game, really. Because if we lose this, this is a massive game for both of us. This is a multi-million-pound game. So for both of us,
I kind of think the pressure in that case, would you agree, Brad? Like Jack just said, is possibly more on Chelsea because it's more expected of them. If Leicester sort of were to fail again, and I'm not saying fail was probably a big word, but having won the FA Cup, it wouldn't be the end of the world. We'd still go fifth in FA Cup. For Leicester, hey, we're not going to moan about that. But for Chelsea, potentially, Brad, it's like Jack said then, we don't know. Abramovich, he's got an itchy trigger finger, hasn't he?
Yeah, Abramovich definitely has an itchy trigger finger, and I think you are right. I think, like you said, it would affect both clubs. Financially, in a sense, you get a hell of a lot more for making Champions League. We know that. We know they financially benefit more from Champions League from the owner's point of view as a business sense, which football, even in our greatest owners, is still a business side to it. Not that you'd know the way they treat the club that it's a business, because it's like it is family to them, but they still have to make the money. It would be beneficial, but like you said, Chris, I think it's more knock-on effects for Chelsea. And you say Chelsea could be like prodding the bear tonight, what we did the FA Cup. The thing is, the way Leicester have gone about their business, they'd be smart enough to run down the hill so the bear would stumble and fall again tonight. And I can see that being the case. I really can.
Fingers crossed. But Jack, are you going to play Kepa up front tonight? Because that seems to be what works for big teams, isn't it?
It's kind of our last chance at this stage. I don't know what else we can do. Tammy isn't getting a look in anymore. I don't think his long term is the answer, but he still has a lot to offer. Giroud, probably. I just don't think he's going to play him. I think he really favours the false nine with Havertz, and I think that's what we'll see tonight. I'd be very surprised if we don't. I think we'll have probably Pulisic and then Werner either side. And that's worked really well for us over the last couple of months when we've adopted that formation. And if we turn up like we have done against, the time we played Madrid or the time we played Atletico and some of the league games, then I don't see there being any other winner than us. But it's just whether that Chelsea turns up, and that I just don't know anymore, to be honest with you. You don't know what you're going to get until 15 minutes into a match.
No, I think we were all, both Chelsea and Leicester, and I was sat there watching the West Brom Liverpool game, and I came to it late, and it was 1-1. Then West Brom had a goal disallowed, and then I'm like, yeah, this is a great result. This is what we want. And like I say, and then we had the amazing header from Alisson. And bless him, he's had a bit of a bad year with everything that's gone on with his dad and what have you. So you can't begrudge him his moment. But looking at it now, Liverpool are 5th. They haven't got any more games in hand, Jack, but they're only a point behind you. So you are the immediate one that they're after, if you like, and we're a couple of points more from that. Did you look at that when Liverpool got that? Do you think that puts extra pressure on you because Liverpool are so close now? And I think Jack might have frozen. I'll ask you then, Brad.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, all Jack's gone connection.
Yeah. So basically, Liverpool getting that win against West Brom, they're a point behind Chelsea, although they haven't got a game in hand anymore. So it's Chelsea that are immediately in Liverpool's sights. Do you think that's putting extra pressure on Chelsea tonight? That they've we've got the FA Cup in the bag, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and this question's been asked in many different ways since, before the FA Cup, after the FA Cup, and tonight. Me and you have both, whether it's on here or on other shows, have been asked this question in one way or another. And I think you're completely right, Chris. The momentum shift over the last week and a half of both clubs, it's suddenly so detrimental. You would feel that, yes, it's a must lose, but in the nicest way possible, it's a must not lose for Leicester. I reckon Leicester would still benefit purely because of them being ahead of both Liverpool, Chelsea in this point, and would still have a bit of a cushion over at least one of them going into the last game of the season. The draw is more beneficial for us, and that's what gives me a good feeling. And I think tonight that 2 out of the 3 defining results that can happen for Leicester are positive, not just on a points productive, but on a look to the next game. Like if we draw, it's not the end of the world, is it? Because we'll still be 4th regardless. So, it's words for Chelsea. They cannot afford to draw. They have to win. And I would probably go out there and bravely say I can actually see a red card tonight. I can see Chelsea overcommitting, taking the wrong temperament to try and go about beating us. And I can see someone getting sent off early doors in this game. That's my out there feeling. Yeah,
just keep on talking. I don't know. I can't. Oh no, I think I'm all right. I was going to say keep on talking. I never thought I'd ever say that to you, Brad. But I'm trying to get. My Twitter isn't going brilliantly, but the team has now been announced. So I'm just seeing. I'm going to bring Jack back in. Well, welcome back, Jack.
Sorry about that. The broadband dropped. The weather's been absolutely shocking here today, lightning and everything. So, can you hear me all right?
No, not a problem. Yeah. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, well, let's bring this in then, because our team has been announced. David wanted the same team as on Saturday. So let's have a look what we've got here. Schmeichel, obviously, in goal. And my system isn't working. Billy, we've got Schmeichel in goal. Basically, Albrighton's back. No Inacho. Now that is surprising. So we've got Castagna, Fofana, Soyuncu, Albrighton, Ndidi, Tielemans, Thomas, Maddison, Perez, Vardy. Brad, I'll come to you. No Inacho.
That's a bit of a surprise, given the fact that even though he didn't score at the weekend, he's been very good for us over these last 2 months. In fact, he's overtaken Vardy in the top goal scoring for Leicester this season. But there's a few changes there to the original 11, and I'm kind of happy and content with that, because if the result doesn't go the way Leicester fans would like today, like I just said, and we do lose to today's game, you've at least got a few strong, fresh legs that you can chuck on in this game if necessary, or keep them fully fresh for Tottenham.
Yes.
Because we do have to remember, things don't go as we hope tonight, we do have that game to correct it. So give Perez a chance up front with Vardy. Could be interesting. He might bang in a hat-trick. He might have a usual 5 out of 10 performance. We'll see.
Yes.
Still a strong lineup.
And looking at that, does that team worry you at all there, Jack?
One thing I'm glad about, and I'm not glad from a sense that he's out, is Johnny Evans is not in the squad.
Yes.
I think you've got an absolutely great central defence. Like Fofana is going to be world class. Saya Soyuncu, he's a brilliant player. But I think they're both young, and I think Johnny Evans brings that experience and calmness to your back line, and I think he'll be a miss. So for me personally, I'm happy that he's not in the squad. And obviously, Iheanacho has been on fire. Has been in really good form lately. So look, Vardy can do what Vardy does often. I think it's a good squad. But again, look, I'm confident enough. I think.
Well, we'll have a look at Chelsea in a second. But I'm just going to make Brad a very happy man because the BBC Brad have got that down as 4-4-2.
Yeah, Mike Bassett, that's the way to go into it. Mike Bassett is a 4-4-2.
We had a little bit of a, should we say, discussion, Jack, the other day about formation, but they've actually got it Castagna, Fofana, Soyuncu, Thomas going from right to left, just to be different for me. Or Brighton, Tillemans, Ndidi, Perez across the middle, and they've got Maddison, I'm guessing, just playing behind Vardy up front, which I'm not sure that will be, whether it will be a formation or whether just the BBC like doing that. But
by the sounds of things, they'll probably do the same as what they did with Manchester United. Where he said they went from 4-4-2 out of the ball and 4-3-3 in it. It sounds like that's the plan B without Evans there.
Yes,
line. Sounds like it.
I mean, Jack, looking at yourself, your team, Mendy in goal. And the BBC have got this as a 3-4-2-1. So James, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger as your back three across the centre. And forgive my pronunciations here, as I can never say that one. Asby, you know the one I mean.
We call him Dave.
That's brilliant. Dave is number 28 on the right wing. Dave is good old Dave. Kante, Jorginho, and Chilwell is starting in there. Pulisic and Mount just in front, and Werner up top.
I'm surprised he didn't have Havertz on. I think Chilwell was missed from the start the other day. I do like Alonso, but he just lacks pace, and he got really caught out and found out down that wing the other day when we played you in the final. So I can see why he's brought him back in, Chilwell. You obviously you know yourself how good he is.
Yes.
And also, I know Werner doesn't bring many goals, but he brings everything else. And Mount is obviously, he's just been voted our Player of the Year.
Okay,
which is great. And he just works hard all game, every game. His head never drops. And obviously Kante is massive in there again, as you know. Two of your best players. So hopefully we might do that again at some point and cherry pick maybe Fofana from you. I'd be very happy if we do that at some point.
Well, can I just say we got 80 million for Man United for Maguire. You might have to go over the 100 million for Fofana.
Absolutely, definitely have to go over the 100 million. I don't know how he's been missed by some of the kind of perceived top clubs in the world. That's no disrespect to Leicester.
No.
But like the Man Cities, the Real Madrids, and the Chelseas, probably we're not even in that category anymore. But he's just got bags of talent, and you'd probably see him play obviously a lot more than I would. I love him. I think he's such a good player, and Soyuncu as well. I know he didn't have the best game in the final, but he's a top quality player as well.
Stephen's saying apparently Havertz has pulled a hamstring. Apparently, so
is it? Okay.
That's possibly why. Yeah. That is Stephen saying that, but he's from Ireland, so who knows? And sorry, Stephen, only joking. Only joking. I'll come to Brad in a second, but I just want to ask you one thing, Jack, there, because you did mention Werner. I mean, Abrahams is your top scorer this season. He's not getting anywhere sort of near the squad, and there's obviously rumours that we've actually been linked with him. He's on the subs bench, Werner. Havertz isn't, as it happens, but he likes Werner, and it's funny because we've criticised Perez a lot, but he's one player that the manager seems to like, whatever we sort of feel as fans. What does Tuchel see in Werner over Abrahams? Because he's not exactly prolific in front of goal, as we saw on Saturday.
No. And I think Tuchel saw before any of us Chelsea fans saw that he just isn't a striker. It's just not his position. He said it himself. He likes to cut in from the wing. Like, he does bring a lot to games consistently. Like, there's very few Chelsea games I've missed this year, and he's a consistent, high-paced performer. He puts in a lot of effort. He's our top assister this season. Like, I know we brought him in to score goals, and that's fine. And you feel like he's just devoid of a bit of confidence, and that is going to change, I think, and he will add goals to his game. I don't think he's going to be the answer to our 30 goals a season player, but his energy, his work rate, he brings Mount into the game. He plays really well with Mount, even when Havertz is playing through the middle as a false nine. He links up really, really well with him. I think that energy, he needs it in the pitch, and he trusts him, and I do. I like every aspect of his game. Just obviously, look, we need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, and it's not happening for him at the moment. And psychologically, it happens sometimes to players.
Stephen says there that from Ireland, he's just booked a flight to Bournemouth. Well, mate, if you're coming from Ireland and you might be on Ryanair, you'll probably end up in Paris. Ryanair call that Bournemouth. Joking, Stephen. Before, I don't know how big he is. He could be bigger than me. Brad, I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be straight back in 10 seconds.
Leicester Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
I have to say 10 seconds, otherwise we get a shot of Brad's pyjamas. We were saying then about Fofana and Chelsea coming in for him and what have you. See, what I don't get about these so-called bigger clubs is that we went and paid, was it 29 million for Fofana? Chelsea weren't anywhere there, and yet they're going to come in maybe in a couple of years. He won't go this transfer window, but when he goes, he'll probably go, joking aside, for 80 plus million. And yet, so Chelsea are paying 80 when they could have had him for 30.
Yeah, and that's not our issue. That's no one's fault but their own. They should be paying. They should sack their own scouting staff and start hiring private investigators to see how our scouting business does it. Because this isn't like a one-off occasion. Leicester have been doing this for the last 3 seasons, finding these players and not just going straight out and gambling 30, 40 million on them like they are to a degree. They're really looking over these over a period of time. I mean, the Tielemans deal, we took him on loan, and we worked out a deal where we could get him for the 40 million we ended up paying for him. Now, if it's to believe all the strong reports that came out around the time, Tottenham actually were willing to meet the demands and probably pay more than we were willing to for Tielemans. But it was Tielemans who turned around and said, "I'm happy to go to Leicester. I don't want to go into negotiations with Tottenham." So that tells you what his opinion of us as a club. It's all well and good, these people come out saying, "Oh yeah, well, Ndidi, you'd have to pay 120 for him. For Fofana, you'd have to pay 80 for him." That's if he wants to leave as well in the next 3 years, because he might not want to if we keep winning things or keep getting top 4. Why would he drop down to 6th and 7th when he can be playing top 4 every season if we continue?
Jack, the following on from that, Chelsea's youth policy mainly has been buy them young, loan them out, sell them on. There's no point in that process until Frank came along, couldn't go out and buy any players, suddenly brought all these youngsters in. And let's be honest with you, you finished 3rd last season. It wasn't, and that was the start of the team that's got you to the Champions League final. So, whether you should have kept Frank or not, that's another story. And you as Chelsea fans will know better. But it just goes to show you, did you have to go out and spend the multi-millions that you then did this season when you'd got that crop of youngsters that most of them, not all of them, but most of them have sort of been thrown by the wayside this season now?
Listen, I know clubs looking in always kind of take issue to the loaning system kind of policy that we have. And look, that's in-house as well. Chelsea fans, we're the same. We're you know, from business aspect, it's great because we make a hell of a lot of money from it. And, you know, and obviously a lot of that money is reinvested back into the squad. But at the same time, we've been crying out to bring some of the youth players in. Like James was always going to be massive. He's just a brilliant player. Mount was always really, really good. I don't think we realised how good he was. You know, so the talent is there. We've got a world-class training facility. We've got amazing youth coaches. We often win at the underage tournaments. So the talent is there. The problem is the manager is just under too much pressure to risk playing them, and that's always been the case. And I think that culture is starting to slowly turn now because we have seen that we can bring youth players through and they can do a job. Yeah. And imagine if you were to go out into the market and buy a Mason Mount or a Reece James now, you'd be paying ridiculous money. So
I mean, I'd take them both, to be honest with you. But then again, I'd take Tammy Abrahams if he's available. Well, Jack, Stephen's saying there, Jack, what are your thoughts on Tammy Abraham?
He's a really good finisher. The problem, I think, which a lot of managers from top clubs will probably have, is he's very lightweight. There's not a lot of him. He's tall, but he's not very strong on the ball. And I think that might become an issue. In terms of talent, like he is a very talented footballer. He's not world class and he never will be. That's just a matter of fact. But he has the ability to forge a really, really good career at a Premiership club. I just don't know if it will be long term at a top 4 club. Maybe a top 10 club like an Arsenal or someone like that, you know, or a Tottenham.
That was said with feeling.
He would probably suit, but he's not going to win your titles. Let's put it like that, to be honest.
Brad, would you take him? I suppose it depends on the cost, obviously, but.
Oh, wow. If the rumours are to be believed that he's available for about 40 million and Tuchel has no plans to use him next season, baffles me that your top striker doesn't get an absolute go at the FA Cup final. Absolutely baffled me. I'd have him alongside Vardy in the mix of Vardy and in action next season. I'll snap your hand off for him. I think he suits us perfectly. I think you're right, Jack. We would be a better fit for him in a sense because it's very unlikely that we would be up at a title challenge in the next 2 or 3 years. You know, he'd settle better, I think.
Yeah. Tonight's game, getting back, there was a little game tonight that's got a bit riding on it. For us, if we can win tonight, that's it. We're guaranteed top 4. Chelsea, you've got to win both your last 2 games. No pressure.
Not at all. This is the sort of pressure we live for. If you wouldn't be a Chelsea fan if you weren't under immense pressure at the back end of a season. It's just we always have. For the last few years, we just make things difficult for ourselves. It's just what we do. 9 times out of 10, look, it comes off for us. I don't know will it will now. Leicester are probably playing the best football under one of the best managers in England at the moment. And it's not the ideal time to be playing them. What he's done, like, I know the last couple of managers have really kind of brought in a lot of the players and brought them to the level they're at. But Brendan Rodgers is just, he cut his teeth at Chelsea. So any thank yous for that would be, you know, I'm happy to accept him. But he's a brilliant manager.
The thing is, Chelsea are winless in 6 Premier League fixtures against Leicester.
Yeah, that's not ideal either, is it? Like, look, all good things have to come to an end, and that law of averages surely says that we've got to win one of them at some point. Like, so, hopefully now.
If you have the League Cup fixture next year, we'll draw you out in the League Cup. You can beat us then. We're not bothered about that one.
Can I just say that before the FA Cup, when I was off, I was asking for the FA Cup final because you'd got the Champions League final. Chelsea fans weren't very keen at giving it to us, but this could be our first league double over Chelsea since 2000 and 2001. So that's overdue as well. But obviously, it wouldn't just be a double, Brad. It'd be a treble this season.
Yeah, I mean, at least Chelsea fans.
Sorry, Jack.
That Chelsea fans would not like that, would they? Especially knowing that the only other club we've done a treble over this season unbeaten against is Manchester United of the top six. I know we've done. I know obviously Southampton and whatnot, but in terms of big clubs, Chelsea and Manchester United are the two teams we're going to face 3 times this season, and we look like to go unbeaten. I'd still take a draw. I'd still say that favours us as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting if we can make it another double or treble.
Jack, anything less than a win for us is not going to be enough. It's just
no. I mean, you Chelsea looking to avoid 3 consecutive defeats in all competitions for the first time since 2006. Can I just say I haven't got an absolute great memory of Chelsea. I am reading it, as you can probably tell. I'm not the John Motson of Leicester Till I Die, but I do have it on the screen here. However. You've never lost 3 consecutive defeats in all competitions since 2006, but you've only won 2 of your 7 midweek Premier League games this season, failing to score in 4 of the other 5. It's sounding good, Brad.
It certainly is, and you add to that Leicester have, I believe I keep getting corrected, so from now I'm just going to say the second best away record in the Premier League in terms of points collected on the road. Obviously, Chelsea going out, winning now, we've all said this all day, but that's why I'm confident in the result being a positive one for Leicester.
Yes. Jack, you've got fans back tonight, though.
That's great, isn't it? It just makes...
Chelsea have fans?
We've 1 or 2, all right. I think there's a
Abramovich transferred them in from Rochdale.
Yeah, we have to pay people to go into the stadium. It's a nightmare, really. No, look, in all jokes aside, it's really, really good to see them back. And even the FA Cup. I mean, to be fair, our fans, they weren't on it really against the FA Cup compared to your fans. In fairness, and look, we have been known to kind of drop off in terms of our chanting and singing, and obviously resorting back to Chelsea, 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 which is an all-time classic. But look, with what's riding on tonight,
they don't write them like they used to, do they?
Look, we don't like change, so we like to keep it simple. So look, I'm just hoping with the fans back, being at home, what's riding on this game, that the fans turn up and spur the lads on, and look, we can turn up and play like we have done over some of the times over the last few weeks, and just absolutely put you to sleep, and that would be an ideal night for me now.
I mean, no disrespect, Jack, but Brad, we mentioned this in the post Saturday's game programs. Is, as Jack alluded to there, it was hard to hear the Chelsea fans, wasn't it? And you just wonder how much noise we're going to hear tonight. And if we hear any noise, will it be against the chair? And I'll come on to you again with this in a second, Jack. But Brad, do you think there'll be protests against the owner with this big ESL thing?
Oh, I couldn't comment. I haven't heard or seen anything on Twitter personally from anything with Chelsea. You normally get someone the night before starts the pot stirring, don't they, with a tweet or something. I haven't seen anything like that to suggest that there's going to be Chelsea fans going on a protest tonight. Jack, unless you're going to suddenly give us some breaking news and tell us I'm not aware of anything.
Absolutely not. We Chelsea fans in there absolutely adore Roman. Like it just would never happen. The man has done so much for the club. They made a mistake. They've come out and apologised. It's done now. There's no murmurings. There's nothing. I think it's put to bed. I cannot see any way, shape or form that there'll be any boos or anything like that. I'd be very, very surprised. But no, look, Roman is absolutely adored. Absolutely adored. So
yeah, that's fair. And he was, in fairness, the first. I think they were the first team to actually officially pull out of it, weren't they? So like you say, and it is good to have fans back. I mean, I don't get to many games, but the even the things. I mean, the BBC commentator said it was even good to hear booing, when Chilwell was being picked up. Brad, it was just nice to hear, noises from the crowd that actually matched what was happening on the pitch and not happening 5 seconds later when somebody presses the button.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? It was nice even when Timo Werner kicked one into the stratosphere and you got the first way of the game. That was just I actually, I think if I was on that pitch as a player, I'd have laughed it off, because I'd have just felt, you know what, I don't care that I've shanked it over to the Tigers ground. I'm just happy to be a part of that first moment. You know what I mean? I'll sort the next shot out. But it was just good, and I think, again, like Chris alluded to earlier, and it's been brought up by you, Jack, it probably helped the occasion as well. It's going to go down in history as the first post-COVID FA Cup final, and it's going to be remembered for the reasons of 12, 14, 18 months, however long it's been since fans were allowed in the stadium. And for such an occasion, it was just one of them. And every little cheer, boo, even when we was booing Alonso, thinking it was Chilwell, it was just, we just had every bit of, that expression, you don't know what you've got.
Because they look the same, don't they?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I agree. Right. I think just on to your point there, real quick, is that I think everyone and their mother was for Leicester that day, and I think Leicester, from the outside looking in, are an absolutely exceptionally well-run club. You have owners that adore the club, and obviously look, what's happened over the last couple of years, and obviously that brings fans closer and more endearing towards Leicester. And I think even as a getting over the disappointment of us losing, to see your chairman or your owner on the pitch celebrating with the players was just really nice to see. Like, in fairness, like you don't see it that much, and it was really, really nice to see. And I think that
you'll start me off again, and I haven't actually broke down on camera yet. But and we discussed this. We were rather drunk though, weren't we? We had a video chat after the game, didn't we, Brad? And we were both rather tearful, but I blame the drink. And it was only between us, so there was no proof anywhere at all. But I was shouting for Top to come down, and thankfully Casper finally went and got him. More to celebrate tonight, Brad, is that Fulham are level with Manchester United.
Well, that just adds to that outside dream, doesn't it? To cap off a perfect season would be to somehow now catch United after last season. It wouldn't be a bad ending to a season after all, would it? Really, no. If you manage to
8 minutes left, and Ollie's taken off Mason Greenwood and brought on Diallo. So, who I always thought was a rugby player. I've got to be honest with you. Yeah. But guys,
whoever's Fulham's keeper is, let's hope he goes up for a corner in the 95th minute.
Yes. We need Casper to do that tonight, don't we? We so do. Yeah. Kepa was asked to. He'd argue that he didn't want to go up, wouldn't he, Jack?
That's what he likes. Yeah, you don't even ask him.
No, I'm not going up. I'm not going up. Yeah. Right, it's that time with the old score predictions, and like I said, there is so much riding on tonight. But I do this thing on LeicesterTillIDie.com, our website, with some ex-players, and they all think it's going to be a draw tonight, various levels. We've got a 0-0, a 1-1 and a 2-2 there from Steve Lynett, Steve Walsh and Ian Marshall. I've flown the flag and gone for 2-1 to Leicester. Jack, you're obviously going to go for a Chelsea draw.
Do you know what? If I was anyway sensible, I probably would. But I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea is what I'm going to go for today. Look, I think we've a point to prove. We're a little bit wounded, so I'm kind of hoping that won't be lost on the players. And with the fans in the back, I think we might come out and really kind of put it to you, especially with everything riding on it.
Yeah, Brad, the changes on both sides tonight, and I guess it was kind of to be expected because if we both came out with the same teams, we'd know exactly what we were doing and what we were playing. So I guess in a way, whatever happened, changes were inevitable. But are you going to see a 9-0?
No, I'm not that confident. Jesus, no.
Oh, you are Jesus, yes, but you know.
Well, yeah, and I can tell you from what I know that it's not going to be 9-0. No, I think the thing is, in the weirdest way, and I think if you'd asked Leicester fans 5 weeks ago, they would have never have said this, but in the weirdest way, even with a loss, and I know it wouldn't help our top 4 chances, but Leicester really are in a win-win situation regardless of the results, because if they lose tonight, they'll get told, well, they won the FA Cup. They're probably still on a come down from that. You know, it's fine. I'm sure they'll come back. If they win, they did top 4, completes the journey, and draw, we're still in a good position. And like I said, it's nice and weird to have the shoe on the other foot and not be the one that's got all the pressure on them, whereas Chelsea do. You know, like Jack said, a draw to Jack, in his opinion, for Chelsea isn't good enough. Obviously, because it still leaves the door open, and it doesn't really give them that added extra, the bonus that you'd like of a points gap.
One person who will be watching, no doubt, with eyes glued to the telly, will be a certain Mr. Klopp to see what's going on this evening. David, I know I look old, and I know I am old, but no, I don't remember when we played Chelsea in the Charity Shield. But you've said this a few times to the missus, Peter. Please don't let us blow it. And the thing is, the way I look at it is, you know, if we do lose, and I don't want to lose, and I want to finish in the top 4, obviously Champions League, it would be a dream season. Up there, you know, I think we're 15, 16. But if we do, we've still not had a bad season. We're disappointed, but, you know, 5th in the FA Cup, you know, I'd have taken that, you know, 2-1 to Stephen Collins. Mate, Jack, thank you so much for coming on and having the balls to do so after the FA Cup. I'd wish you luck, but I'd be totally lying. I really don't wish you any luck tonight, but I do wish you all the best in the Champions League final. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We have got Jack's YouTube link is in the description below, so it's there to click on. But just give yourself another quick shout out again, Jack.
Yeah, so you can follow us on at the Weekly Armchair is our handle on Twitter and on YouTube. It's the Weekly Armchair Kickoff Podcast, and my own handle is at the bottom there, Jack Clemson. So give us a follow there. Okay.
Brilliant. Jack, thank you very much. Like I say, come on, Leicester, but, you know, good luck in the final. Take care, mate. Stay safe, and we'll see you next season. Yeah. Cheers.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Take care. Brad, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous.
Like I said, mate, I'm probably experiencing this sort of thing at a different level to some Leicester fans. That I was the same with the FA Cup, wasn't I? I was probably more confident than most because I'd never really, even though I knew our record, I hadn't experienced it, and I'm still yet to experience as losing FA Cup final. I'm not, just trying to.
Too brute, too brute. Stick that knife in, why don't you?
I twist it and then jiggle it around a bit while I'm there. But no, and that's why maybe tonight, like I said, we could lose tonight, and like I said, in the weirdest sort of way, any 3 results, the lads will be in a win-win because they'll get let off if they lose because we've won the FA Cup, and anything else is positive. And honestly, I'm going to go 3-0 Leicester. I sense a. I
do apologise. I never actually got the score out of you. I apologise.
To be honest with you, that helps with me not being able to keep answers short. So yeah, 3-0 was mine.
I'm just checking here. 88 minutes, and it's Man United 1, Fulham 1 still. So if that stays the same, we are going to be, and if we win tonight, 2 points behind Man United going into the last game. That would be a bit of an exciting. Although I think Man United have got a bit of an easy game. I'm not sure. Is it Villa they've got on the last day?
It's either Villa or Wolves. I don't know why, but I know it's one of them two. They've got.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. But
you never know. Beat Chelsea, puts 2 points behind. Jack Grealish scores a 97th minute winner. We go and beat Tottenham 17-0 because of that crap. Harry Kane scores 4 own goals. We don't know what
before he leaves.
before he leaves. Yeah.
Harry Kane. That's his goodbye present to the Tottenham fans. You know.
Yeah, signs for Arsenal the next day. Does a Sol Campbell? I think that would.
It is Wolves they've got. You're quite right. You see, your knowledge of football is a lot better than mine. You know, but
I've just seen a prediction list to know one of the two.
Yeah, Brad's not. I don't know if you're going to know this, but Craig Pete High says more Debbie does Dallas. You did. That was Craig. I'll blame Craig. It was Craig's. I wanted to try and keep the conversation on topic. And the funny thing, good evening, Craig. Yes, it is Wolves. We completely went off topic last night, and we were talking Dallas. Debbie does Dallas. Morecambe and Wise, the two Johnnies. I can just say we actually got more views at that point than we did when we were talking about the football match. So don't know what that says about Leicester fans. But finish fifth, FA Cup. It's still not been a bad season. Brad, thanks very much, mate. And I will see you 10:15 after the game.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
Let's hope we're celebrating a win.
Let's hope so. Celebrating top four, mate. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
See you afterwards. Take care.
See you later.
Don't get too drunk.
I won't. I've only got 2 beers left, so
I'm not surprised you drank Manchester Dry. Boddington's had to send out for more yeast, didn't they? You know. See you after the game, mate. Take care.
See you later, mate.
Cheers. Oh God, yeah. I'm talking a lot because I am nervous a lot. I am not going to lie. Let's just have a look and just see if the Man United game has finished. No, they're still showing it to 88 minutes, and that was like 5 minutes ago. BBC, what are you doing? Oh, it's now 90+1, and it's still 1-1. So it could all be a very big night for somebody tonight. And let's hope it's Leicester City. Guys, we're going to be back half an hour after the final whistle on here with me and Brad and anybody else that wants to join in. You've always only got to ask for the link and we'll get you on camera saying what you think. Fingers crossed. It's got to be the treble over them, hasn't it? Surely. It's the Premier League tonight. Good night, guys.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.